Hi, and welcome to InvestComics TV. I'm Jay Katz, your host, and I am here with Action Games and Comics owner, Scott Schlazer. How are you tonight?
Good. How you doing, Jay? Thanks for having me.
Pretty good. Thank you so much. You are located in Florida, correct?
Yes.
Okay, where are you located? Where are you located exactly?
Mineola. We are right outside of Claremont, Florida.
Okay.
On Highway 27.
Cool. All right. So basically, Scott, the first question I got for you is, when did you get into comic books? And do you remember that first comic book you read? And when did that all occur? How old were you?
When did I get into comics? Probably when I was about 6 or 7. My dad was a baseball player, and we would travel the country while he played baseball. And
did you play professionally?
Yeah, a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit there. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Good. Cool.
So to keep me sedated, they would take me to the gift shops in the hotels where we were staying, and they would give me a little bit of money, and I would end up buying comic books. Or take me to the 7-Elevens back in the day when 7-Eleven had spinner racks, and you just walk in there and pick up whatever you wanted at the time. And I would just pick up comics and, end up hanging out in the hotel room or in the bleachers and reading comics while my dad played baseball. My dad's pretty much an all-around jock, and he's played pretty much everything, and I've pretty much been all over the world with my parents because of that. There's many pictures of me as a kid reading comic books. I guess it was just something that I had fallen into because of, actually 2 reasons, or maybe 3 reasons. One of them would be that I've just talked about, but then the other thing is I did have a neighbor who was into comic books at the time, and this was the 70s, so it was like had all the cool toys, and you had the Star Wars toys, and you had everything, but at the same time, it was like comics weren't really marketed the way they are now,
Right.
Even though you had Mego toys. He and I would, just, use our imagination, and
did we have ROM back then? Remember ROM?
Yeah, we had ROM 79.
Yeah, wasn't that great stuff?
Yeah, we did. Actually, ROM is kind of back in Marvel Comics. Well, actually, not ROM, Icon, the female ROM.
Right, exactly.
Last of the Space Knights, I guess, because ROM was originally the Last of the Space Knights, but I guess now she's the Last of the Space Knights.
Right.
And her costume is basically ROM.
Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned ROM because I have the toys upstairs in my bedroom.
Yeah, that's so cool. I mean, we all loved ROM back in '79. It was awesome,
Yeah, ROM was awesome, but I could never get over how the toy was so not as cool as ROM in the comic book.
Right.
It was just like a robot, just like his arms were real skinny, and he just was like kind of I don't know. But I mean, when you're a kid, it doesn't matter. When you're 7 years old and you get these cool toys, it's like it's the best thing in the world.
And then when you see issue number 17, I think it was, if I recall, I'm going to memory bank. Issue number 17 was the X-Men appeared in there, I believe. 17, or I forgot what issue it was, but pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't remember, but yeah, it's possible. I mean, you did also have Micronauts crossing over with X-Men at one point.
Yeah,
so I mean, I wouldn't doubt that ROM probably crossed over into.
It was 17, issue 17. It's the most expensive comic out of the entire run. That's why I remember number 17 for some reason.
Yeah, we do have a run of ROM at the shop. I don't recall if we have 17 though. But
go check it out.
Take a look when I get there tomorrow.
Yes.
But yeah, then I also had a neighbor. Actually, I had a babysitter that her brother was into comics, and at one point, I guess when he was in his teens, he just was like, yeah, I'm too cool for comic books, and he gave me my first collection.
Nice.
And I still have those comics. I don't know whatever happened to the dude, but I mean, I still have the comics. So,
cool.
And my one friend I told you about originally, I haven't seen him in like 30 years, but I did find him on Facebook, and he's still in the comics too. It's pretty interesting that we're both in the comics.
Cool. All right. So as far as the action games and comics, when did you first start your business? How long has it been in business? And where did that name come from, the Action Games and Comics? How did that come about?
Well, I opened in January 1999. When I first opened, I was called Planet X Comics and Collectibles. My first theme of the store, because I'm a big kaiju fan and giant monster fan and stuff like that, was sci-fi and giant monsters smashing Tokyo and monster movies and horror films and stuff. And it was a comic book store, but it was just themed with monsters basically.
Right.
So that was when I first opened, and then after I moved, I think in 2001 or 2002, I revamped the store and I changed the name to Action Games and Comics. Okay. And I went with the theme of Action Comics from DC. Okay. And that was, we were in, in Claremont downtown, for a long time. And then, now we've moved, to Mineola as of October 2010, to a bigger store. Okay. The whole store is revamped again. It's still Action Games and Comics, but it's red, yellow, and blue. It's totally Superman. It's a giant Superman symbol in the window. It's a shop that when people walk in, I want them to think, hey, I'm in a comic book store.
Right.
And
absolutely
to exuberate comic books, I guess, in pop culture in general, because I feel like I'm someone who's rolled up in the world of pop culture.
All right. Cool. All right. So
I guess I am. So.
Right. So as far as the your store goes, what you have? How many people do you have on staff, and who do you have working for you? Are they an eclectic bunch? Who are they?
They're all pretty eclectic. There's obviously me. Then there's my partner Tony.
Okay.
And we're pretty much alike in a lot of ways, in the sense of comic books and movies, and especially music. And then there's Kevin, who is the Warren Ellis, Grant Morrison, avid, always on top of, reader.
Sure.
Then there's Ricky, who is the resident, I guess, the guy who keeps the sarcasm alive in the store.
Okay, good.
He's a Green Lantern fan. He's a comic book guy, but he's more of just I don't know. He's really big into Green Lantern.
Sure.
Then there's Edwin, who is will talk your ear off about comic books and movies, and he's also a big reader. He's a big fan of most everything as far as comic books. I think there's not a whole lot that he won't give a try to. Then there's Matt, who's my resident DC guy, and I feel that I know a lot about comic books, and I feel that I've always felt that I know more about comic book related stuff, like origins of characters and what colors a certain character wears, or I don't know, just
sure,
whatever things in comic books. Then I've I guess been better at that stuff than real life.
Right. Sure.
So the thing is, whenever when it comes to DC Comics, because Matt is such a big DC guy, when I don't know my DC stuff, I'll go to him.
Okay, cool.
Then there's DeLuca, who is probably the biggest of DC fans that I have at the shop, and Green Lantern fans. He's definitely one of the greats when it comes to wearing his showing off his cool Green Lantern ring and stuff like that. Yeah.
All right,
so
cool.
Those are my guys.
All right, very nice. So, excuse me. We're going to take our first break, Scott. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about your staff because I want to touch on the review show that your staff members are doing and talk more comic books. All right, so we'll be right back, Scott. All right.
Okay.
Welcome back to InvestComics TV. I'm Jay Katz. I am here with Scott from Action Games and Comics. How you doing?
Right.
Before we left for break, actually, you were mentioning your staff, and I wanted to possibly just go back a second here. You are going to be carrying a review show on several websites, as well as InvestComics will be carrying that video review show. Who's on that video review show, and what's that going to be about besides reviews?
Well, the dudes that do the show for me are Pablo he actually was one of the first doing the show, and he's on every now and then. And then there's Kevin, Edwin, and Ricky, and those are the people who I mentioned earlier.
Right.
And then if you, I don't know if you've seen my video of Matt interviewing Amy Vitale.
Yes.
He doesn't do the review show, but that's the first time he's ever actually done an interview for me.
Right. And Amy is a great gal. She's awesome, Amy. I know her. Totally. She's really cool people. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, the review show, we've been doing it since, there's 18 episodes, and we've been doing it since like early 2000, maybe early 2010.
Okay.
I'm not exactly the most organized person, so sometimes things take me, a little while. I've been maybe known to be a procrastinator at times. So there's been times where I've put a video together and, it just, it didn't come together because of other things in my way,
Yeah.
So maybe not so much procrastination, but, more so I'm always doing stuff.
Basically, life just gets in the way sometimes, and that's okay.
Pretty much gets in the way, yeah. But now we pretty much, are on the ball. We have a video up every week. We probably missed a week here or there or something. Pretty much, we're on the ball, and the review show, I think, has had a good turnaround on it and a good change. I think we have guys that they like doing it. They like reading the comics. They're fans of the comics, I think that their input is pretty I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but I think it works for the comics community.
Sure.
I think they know what they're reading, they know why they're reading it. As fans and as people who love my store, Action Games and Comics, I think it's a little bit of everything,
Sure.
So
and when do we get? Excuse me. When do these episodes air? These reviews. I know that InvestComics will be getting them on Friday, so they'll be released on Friday for all the websites, right?
pretty much every episode. We film them on Thursday.
Excuse me.
No problem. We film them on Thursday, and they're usually up by midday Friday.
Okay.
And then once they're up is when I start, letting everybody know.
Sure. Cool. Okay.
I always say by, I don't know, midday, afternoon sometime.
Right.
And then, yeah. So.
Okay, cool. So, excuse me, Scott. So basically, just want to welcome you to InvestComics. We appreciate your comic reviews, and we look forward to seeing them. Okay, so thank you so much for that.
Thanks for having us.
All right, cool. All right. So as far as getting back to the comic book store, what right now are the hottest comics in your store right now on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis? What are people looking for?
Well, right now, as far as Marvel, the hot book would be Fear Itself, obviously.
Okay.
It's the obvious books.
Sure.
Fear Itself from Marvel, Flashpoint, the Flashpoint books from DC. Walking Dead is still really hot at the shop.
Okay.
Let's see.
The Green Lantern books, those are probably
oh yeah, well those are still hot, definitely
sure.
hot. But as far as what's just coming in and what's
right.
having people, Green Lantern has been hot.
Right.
It's still hot, but now after Blackest Night, Brightest Day, now they've
right.
gone to War of the Green Lanterns. They've strayed another way, and now Flashpoint has smacked it.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, Green Lantern is definitely hot. But
all right. Well, so what about Scott? What do you recommend? What do you say? Hey, something. These are some books you're missing out on. This is what I recommend you should be checking out. You have anything like that?
Well, I'm sort of an oddball, so I read a lot of weird stuff.
Hey.
As far as superhero stuff, I read all the Lantern stuff. I read all the Flash stuff, all the Flashpoint stuff, obviously. I've been reading Fear Itself. I read all the Hulk stuff, or both Hulks, I should say.
Okay.
Or I guess there's also Scar, the new Scar book, but
right.
I'm a fan of the legit Hulk, the real green salad Hulk.
Sure, exactly. Mm-hmm. But Greg Pak is actually ending his run, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So, yes.
And then, yeah, he is, yeah. And then, what else do I read? Wow. I read Walking Dead, Abattoir from Radical.
Okay, cool. There we go, that's good.
I've been reading 68.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Cool.
Kirby Genesis was really good, which just came out.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, that was a good one. And I'm a big Kirby fan, so I had to read it.
Right.
Space Adventure from DC and Weird Worlds from DC. I'm a fan of that stuff.
Sure.
I'm a big fan of Rebels, which ended though.
Right.
And
cool.
As far as I could give you a ton of titles.
Sure, that's okay. So as far as the comics, what exactly in your store is as a collector, as an investment type value? What can you recommend that's on your wall right now? They say, hey, as a collector's point of view, as an investment point of view, what do you recommend that's on your wall in your store right now?
Let's see. Well, there's Silver Surfer 5.
Okay.
Fantastic Four 48.
Nice.
Iron Man 55.
55. Cool. That's the first Thanos. Yes. And we had Jim Starlin on InvestComics TV talking about that whole thing. It was pretty good stuff, and
that's awesome.
I love that book. Yeah. Great book. Mm-hmm. And especially since he might be appearing in the Avengers movie, possibly, that could be a book to kind of check out and get. So, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a bunch of stuff, man.
Right, yeah, that's cool.
Those are the three that come to mind right now.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think we have I don't remember, but I think if we still have it, I think we have Avengers 58.
Okay, cool.
But I can't remember if we still have it on the wall or not.
Right. Okay. So, with Action Games and Comics, like what events and what do you have going on there? Who have you had at the store, or what's coming up at that store as far as events and things like that?
I don't have anything set up yet as far as stuff that's rolling in anytime. But as far as what we've done so far in the past, we've had lots of in stores, or maybe a handful of in stores, I should say. We've had as far as comic book related, we've had George Perez, Tony Bedard,
Nice.
Phil Noto, Dick Giordano.
Wow.
Who else has been in?
Well, some great names right there.
The Whatapos Comics guys. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And who else has come in? I don't want to forget anybody.
No, that's okay. I mean,
but we've had wow. I don't know, lots of.
That's we can always go to your website, right? And
that's true.
And definitely check things out there. So basically, we're gonna wrap things up, but we can go to your website, which is what?
www.actiongamesandcomics.com.
Okay, and we can also check you out on Facebook, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Actiongamesandcomics.com. I'm sorry, it's just Action Games and Comics on Facebook.
Right, great. And we can find out, who's been in your store, what's coming up. You're revamping your website a bit, right?
Yes.
You are.
Yeah.
And
I'm totally redoing the website. It's just a cooler look, more, I think it's a friendlier looking website, more information on it, yeah, it's pretty much what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, so far, it looks great. And I love the way it's coming out. So great job on your part there.
Thank you.
Also on Facebook, a lot of good information comes out of there as well. So people should definitely like your page and friend you as well, because you can find a lot of things going on from Action Games and Comics on there.
Oh yeah, and all the events are posted on there. Yeah, pretty much everything that happens at the shop ends up on the Facebook page.
Right, exactly. All right, cool. So Scott, thank you so much for coming on InvestComics TV, and we will definitely see you soon. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right, take it easy, Scott. Thank you for coming on. All right.
Thank you. All right. Bye bye.